Hey guys, it's Karen and I am finally here to review the Hylamide Glow. You guys asked for a review of this quite some time ago. I had purchased it way before any of the Ordinary became popular. Didn't really know what it was, didn't really know how to use it, but then you guys asked for a review, so I thought I'm going to try it again. So I bought it, used it a few times, couldn't make up my mind, finally figured out what it was, tried to use it again, couldn't make up my mind. I've gone through a whole bottle. There isn't anything left in here at all. Like literally nothing, maybe a drop or two. That's how long it's taken me to actually figure this product out. So I've got some notes in front of me to make sure I don't forget to tell you anything, and I've got it up on the website here. Now, as with a lot of Deciem products, there's a lot of description. There are many paragraphs, but I'll just read you kind of the key points if you like. So this is called a Booster Glow, and it says next to it DHA free. And in typical me style, I bought this the first time round and just didn't really know what it was, but I don't read instructions. I remember a boss of mine saying to me, RTFI, I asked her something, she said to me, RTFI, and I was like, what the hell does that mean, you know? And it's read the effing instructions, basically, because I was known for just asking questions and not reading the instructions. And that's what happened with this. But I have to say, even after the second bottle, I read this and still didn't get that it's a self-tanner. I don't know why, it just completely went over my head, even though it says DHA free next to it, that I should have realised that when I read it, but I obviously, again, just read it quickly. So this basically is a self-tanning product, but it doesn't have the usual ingredient in it, which is dihydroxyacetone, which is what is in every self-tanner. Just so you know, it can't call itself a self-tanner because DHA is the only ingredient that is licensed, if you like, to be able to call itself a self-tanning product. I'm not sure why, because they're very similar products with very almost identical actions, but this one can't call itself a self-tan. So this is alcohol-free, silicone-free, nut-free, vegan and cruelty-free, and has a pH of 2.75 to 3.75, so it's a very low pH product. It is currently £9.90 on the Hylamide website, so if you are interested in this, now's the time to get it. Mind you saying that, I don't know how long this sale will last, but the usual price is £20 and it's currently on 50% off, so it's £10. I bought mine for £20 in Boots. It said that it is under technology, melanin hexapeptides, a novel peptide technology to encourage a glowing, natural looking backdrop of visible radiant tone. It then talks about the raspberry keto sugar. It says a purified keto sugar that reacts with skin amino acids to produce a golden tone within 2 to 3 days without the sensory drawbacks and potential negative effects associated with DHA, which is the technology used commonly in self-tan and the short-term radiance boosting skincare. So I just want to talk about that for a moment, because it says, firstly, without the sensory drawbacks. So obviously without the scent. Like I've always said, I think they could simplify the words they use. So without the biscuity smell, this doesn't have that biscuity smell. When full, this is a yellow colour. It is very similar to the label there, perhaps not quite as yellow. It's definitely a yellow colour though. And to me, it smells like celery. To my husband, he said it doesn't smell like celery. He doesn't know what it smells like, but it smells like medical to him. It does smell medical. It's like celery mixed with germaline or something. But definitely, you know, that smell dissipates when you put it on your skin, and it doesn't smell at all like self-tanner. Some of you will know I love the smell of self-tan. I love that biscuity smell. And it really makes me happy when I wake up and can smell that when it's developed. But that's how I can tell you that it definitely doesn't have any scent at all when it develops. So for most of you, that'll be a big tick in the plus box already. It says sensory drawbacks and potential negative effects associated with DHA. So this is the bit I want to discuss. I'm glad they've put potential negative effects, because it's associated with DHA. So they're not saying that there are proven dangers from DHA. There's a lot of rumours and a lot of scaremongering, and you guys know how I feel about scaremongering. I like to talk about what the actual research is and what the actual truth is, and sometimes there is an element of truth in the scaremongering, but it's just not telling the full story. DHA has been considered to be dangerous and talked about as being dangerous, But the research has shown that the biggest danger, and mostly what they're talking about when they talk about the dangers, is inhalation, and it's from spray tans. So where you're having a product that uses DHA in a spray tan. Point number one. Point number two is that it has been shown that when you are wearing a self-tanner with a DHA ingredient in it, that when you go out into UV light, it can increase the free radical production in your skin. But here's the thing, so does this, because they are both keto sugars. You know, this talks about it being a raspberry keto sugar and not the same as DHA, but they are both keto sugars. This one is a raspberry keto sugar. DHA is made from glycerin, fermented sugar cane, or glycerin, both fermented. So both keto sugars. The research so far on this one shows that this may not be as reactive as the DHA. What's currently known is if you went out with DHA on your right hand and this raspberry keto sugar on your left hand, that your left hand would not produce as many extra free radicals as the right hand, but if you had none on at all, you would produce a lot less. Is a lot of people find DHA drying. I have never ever found that to be the case. I've never found it dried out my skin, not my face. I would have been delighted if it dried out my face, and that's where I've used it the most. I have castor oil in the ingredients, and so I think that's probably why it feels so moisturising. And I know that I personally have realised recently that I like castor oil as an ingredient in products. So I'm going to read you the directions. It says, apply twice daily as adjunct skincare to offer radiance and a golden glow. Can be used as part of any skincare regime before the application of moisturisers and or makeup. So that's how I started using this new bottle. I started using it underneath my moisturiser and after serums, etc., just as part of my skincare routine. I didn't use it twice a day though, I did just use it at night. Looking in the mirror, I couldn't see any colour difference whatsoever. I couldn't see any glow or any colour change. I looked up some reviews and a lot of people were saying that it is too light. If you use it as part of your skincare, that you won't get much of a colour. And so if you want to use it and get a proper colour, to use it on its own. But if you want to get a lighter colour than what it produces, you know, more of a very, very gradual tan, then to mix it in with moisturiser when you use it. So I thought, well, let me use it as my usual self-tanner. And that is that I use it instead of moisturiser. I use it instead of a night cream, and I don't use anything else on that evening. So I would take off my makeup, use a toner or micellar water to take everything else off, and then I would put a self-tanner on and that's it. I wouldn't use anything else on that day. I used a brush to apply it. I use either I've got a big Ray Morris brush, I can't remember which one is in the video of me applying it, and I also use the Real Techniques buffing brush. I sort of use them just depending whichever one is clean to apply my self-tanner. What I also did is I did a little patch test on my tummy, which is something I do with tanners. If I'm putting them on my face and I'm not seeing a result, I know that there might be a slight difference, but I just can't see it. And so if I put it on my tummy where I'm white and never tan, it's really obvious if there's any colour. I looked at the little square on my tummy and there was a sort of slight colour there, and I just thought, okay, it produces a tiny bit of colour, but not very much, and the colour that I do see is a little bit yellow. So I kind of dismissed it, and then I actually that evening put some on my hand. And thought, let me just put some on my hand and see what that looks like, you know. So didn't think about it actually for a couple of days, and then I was in the car and I was like, oh my goodness, that whole bit of my hand was really a different colour. And so when I got home that day, I had a look at my tummy and that was a different colour as well. So what I have discovered with this product is that, and it does tell you it takes 2 to 3 days to develop, the colour darkens as time goes on, and DHA, that in my experience doesn't do that. The colour that you're going to get is what you wake up with. I put it on at night, I wake up with the colour that's there. So 12 hours maximum, that's you at the colour that it's going to be. It never gets darker than that. In fact, it starts wearing off. But this seems to get darker as time goes on. I hadn't actually noticed it getting darker on my face, but I thought, let me start again, use it as a self-tanner, but I'm going to use it 2 or 3 nights in a row and see what the colour's like. So I did that, and I definitely got a colour, but it's not a colour that I like. It is definitely yellow on me. And I think that this is a product that some people will like the resulting colour and some people won't, and some people will react a different colour to it. I mean, most people are going to be on the scale of a golden colour, but it depends your base skin tone. And I know that when I show you pictures, I'm sure it looks okay, but just to me, it's not the tan colour that I am using a self tanner for. I like that real sort of, I actually really like the olivey colour that you get from the Saint-Tropez self tan, but that doesn't necessarily suit me as a self tanner. But I do use the Saint-Tropez gradual tan, which is more of a lighter olive look, and I prefer that. Whether or not it suits me or not, whether or not it's the correct colour for me is a whole nother thing, but that's what I use it for. That's the colour I like. I don't like it when it's orangey. I don't like it when it's yellow. I like a sort of reddy is okay, greeny is okay. That's the kind of tone of the Saint-Tropez one, is a green tone. For some people and for some skin, that yellow glow or that yellow colour looks really healthy on them. And that's certainly what I saw in reviews. You know, some people were saying it's just too yellow, I don't like it at all, and other people were like, I'm totally in love with this, DHA dried my skin out, I love the colour of this, I love the feel of it, etc, etc. It's not just the colour result that I don't like about this. That is obviously the key thing I'm looking for. You're putting something on your face to produce a colour that you want. It's not the colour I like, but it stays sticky. That's what I don't like. By the way, it smells exactly the same as the lactic acid, because to me that smells like celery as well. And it feels like the lactic acid. There's no, I never had any stinging or anything like that from the lactic acid, and I don't from this. But the lactic acid did not leave much of a sticky residue. I suppose I wouldn't know the extent to which the lactic acid may have left a residue, because I put moisturiser on top of it, whereas with this I didn't put anything on top of it. But to get a really good colour, you would need to use this, I think, without anything else. And in that case, it stays sticky all night. And I mean all night, because I would put it on, say, 7 o'clock in the evening. And then when I went to bed, lay on the pillow, and I've got a satin pillowcase, my face would like peel off it. It was just a horrible, sticky, tacky feeling that I just did not enjoy. And I could have easily gotten rid of that feeling by putting a moisturiser over the top of it. That would definitely work, but like I said, that dilutes the colour, and I suppose that might not matter. If you're looking for a light colour, that might not matter, and it will darken over days anyway, and you could use it every day as a gradual tan. I've never been somebody that uses a gradual tan on my face anyway. I want a proper colour, so I think this will appeal to people that do like a gradual tan. Just having a look at my notes here to make sure that I've told you guys everything about this. So the only thing I didn't tell you there was it lasts for about a week. I found that the colour on my tummy, where I just put that one application on, darkened over a few days, and then from that point lasted about another week, maybe just under. So overall I'd say about a week, but for the first couple of days it darkened. One really good thing I noticed about this is on my face and neck it didn't fade patchy. There was no patchiness whatsoever. It did fade a little bit patchy on my hand where I just put it on here. There's a good 30 odd ingredients in this, and I don't see anything of concern there. Again, I've had a glance over it. The reason I don't go too heavily into the ingredients are that I can't think of many, if any, ingredients or products where I've had an issue with the ingredients from Deciem, because they don't use alcohol in their products. They don't tend to use added fragrance. You know, they're pretty strict on the ingredients they use. So who do I think this will appeal to? I think it will appeal to you if you really do like yellow tinted colour, a golden glow. It will appeal to you if you like a gradual tanner. And it will really appeal to people that have used DHA and had problems. People have had DHA break them out. I didn't mention that, I should have done. Some people have said that DHA breaks them out, or self-tanners break them out, and it could be the DHA, and that it dries the skin out, which is kind of two opposite things. But if you've had that issue, but you've really wanted to try it and give your skin a bit of colour and a bit of a glow, then this would be a really good product to try for that, especially if it's still on sale for £10. That's amazing. So I'll link it for you in case you want to buy it. I'd love to hear everybody that's used it your experience. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Clearly it's not a repurchase for me. I can't say that I have a favourite self tanner. Ever since Marks and Spencer's changed their range, I haven't found the perfect self tanners. You know, I've got favourites, but I haven't got the perfect one. I will list everything I am wearing makeup wise in the description as always. That's everything for now. I will speak to you again soon.